All of a sudden, there was a loud bang on the door. The noise grew louder as the teddy cat ordering her to come out. Then all of a sudden, all the noises stopped. Lisa lived in the bustling city of Lagos. She loved life and was very kind and beautiful. She loved working because she loved making money and not having to bother anyone about her needs. She was a one-man woman and was in a beautiful relationship with her handsome boyfriend Tom, who just adored her. It was a Friday. Lisa quickly organized her office absent-mindedly, thinking of the oncoming evening with the love of her life, Tom. He had organized a romantic date night at one of the most prestigious hotels and bought a luxurious gown for her to wear to the date. Lisa smiled as she remembered the note attached to the gown. Tom had always been a sweet and romantic guy, and she was lucky to have him. Lisa and Tom arrived at the hotel. It was a dimly lit room with beautiful flower decorations and a table of food and drinks for two. Both enjoyed themselves, eating and laughing together as they talked. But something unexpected happened. Tom went down on his knees. He brought out a diamond ring and proposed to Lisa. The two had been dating for 6 months, and Tom knew that they were meant to spend their life together. Lisa happily accepted as Tom slid in the beautiful ring on her finger. Lisa couldn't contain her joy as she hugged and kissed her husband-to-be. It was now 9 p.m. Both lovebirds returned to Tom's house. The next morning, Lisa woke up in Tom's arms, smiling happily as she pulled into his warm embrace. Tom kissed her on the forehead. He stood up dizzily and got ready to go to work. Lisa sat up and stared at Tom, her lips twisting in a naughty manner as she stared at him lustfully. She stood up and rushed to Tom, who was standing naked, applying some moisturizer. She tapped his backside, smiling happily. "You make me so happy," she said, smiling at him. Tom drew her to himself and kissed her deeply. They looked fiercely into each other's eyes. Then Tom pulled her into his embrace, hugging her as tightly as he could. Then he carried her in his arms and placed her delicately on the bed. He kissed her on the lips and returned to getting ready to work. Lisa grabbed the soft pillow and hugged it tightly, still staring at Tom. Then suddenly, the smile disappeared from her face and a light frown crept in. "What about the teddy bear you promised me, baby?" she asked, looking at Tom intensely. Tom smiled sheepishly and apologized to Lisa, telling her he kept forgetting to buy it. He walked up to her and touched her cheek softly. "I promised to buy it today, and you can always remind me on the phone, my love," he said, smiling lovingly at Lisa. Lisa smiled, happiness creeping back into her large brown eyes as she hugged him tightly. You see, Lisa loved teddy bears. She had a ton of them in her house, as she often hugged and carried them around. She just loved having them around and just playing with them. But there was no teddy bear in Tom's house, and she really needed one. So she asked Tom to buy one for his house. It was now 8:01 in the night. Tom entered the house with a beautiful large teddy bear. Lisa jumped up in excitement, hugging Tom and the teddy bear. She loved the teddy bear and carried it with her all evening. It was now 9:20 p.m. Lisa couldn't sleep. She sat up, rubbing her eyes sleepily as her eyes scanned the room. Her ears quickly heard some whispers. At first, Lisa thought it was Tom, but while her gaze was still fixed on Tom, she heard another whisper. She didn't know where it came from, so she stood up and turned on the lights. She saw nothing. Relieved, she went back to bed. It was now 8:33 a.m. Lisa woke up to Tom's kisses, bidding her goodbye as he headed out to work. Lisa yawned and got out of bed, trying to start her day. She went to the bathroom and began brushing her teeth. That was when she heard it. A strange sound coming from the bedroom. It was the same sound she heard last night. Feeling scared, she tiptoed to the bedroom, but then everywhere became as quiet as a graveyard. Relieved, she turned back to head to the bathroom. Then suddenly, she heard a nasty voice. "Carry me, you stupid fool." The voice was hoarse and angry. Lisa stopped dead in her track. She turned. The voice was coming from the teddy. She was sure of it. Looking at the teddy bear in shock, she walked slowly to it and picked it up. She looked at the teddy bear in confusion as it remained silent. She turned the teddy bear up and down to see if there was a button somewhere that was making it talk, but there was nothing. "Don't ever put me down again, you stupid bitch," the teddy said, its voice harsh and angry. Lisa's heart almost jumped out of her mouth with fear. Shouting at the top of her voice, she threw the teddy away and ran to the bedroom, locking the door behind her. Her hands began to tremble and hot tears dropped from her eyes. She tried calling Tom, but the call wouldn't just connect. She remained in the bathroom, hot tears dropping from her eyes as her heart kept pounding heavily in her chest. Then, suddenly, she heard something scattering in the house. Plates were crashing on the floor. Glass cups were being smashed and things were being thrown at the wall. "Come out and carry me. You said you loved me yesterday. Why are you abandoning me now? Come out or I'll kill you, you stupid whore," the teddy said, its voice getting angrier by the minute. Lisa ignored and started praying for the first time in a long time. All of a sudden, there was a loud bang on the door. The noise grew louder as the teddy kept ordering her to come out. Then all of a sudden, all the noises stopped. The house became as quiet as a graveyard. Lisa couldn't understand what was happening. Curiosity took over her. Slowly, she opened the door and peeped through. She saw the teddy bear lying lifeless on the floor. Curious, she tiptoed to where the teddy was. She quickly grabbed a knife that was lying on the floor as she approached the evil teddy. She kicked it at first, aiming the knife at the teddy. The teddy moved. Scared for her life, she bent over it, stabbing it multiple times as she could. After what seemed like forever, exhausted, she released the teddy and sat on the floor, panting heavily. After resting for a while, she turned and looked at the teddy, wondering what it was. As she stared into the eyes of the big teddy bear, the teddy bear suddenly opened its eyes, and suddenly she disappeared into the teddy. In a twinkle of an eye, she found herself inside the teddy bear. Lisa found herself inside the teddy, surrounded by utter darkness. Lisa realized that she was no longer in Tom's house, but inside the teddy bear. It was now 6:30 p.m. Tom came back from work with Lisa's favorite pizza. He smiled as he entered the house. The house was now neatly cleaned and organized in such a beautiful manner. Everything was arranged and in order. No one would believe what had took place earlier in the house. Tom wondered what had come over Lisa. She didn't like cleaning the house much. He was happy to see a change. He looked around and called out to Lisa. Lisa could hear him inside the teddy bear, which was lying neatly on the bed, as new as ever. Lisa screamed at the top of her voice, calling out to Tom that she was inside the teddy bear. All her screams could be heard by her and her alone. Tom didn't hear anything. The room was as silent. Tom couldn't find Lisa. He searched everywhere for her, but she seemed to have disappeared without a trace, even though all her belongings were intact. At first, Tom assumed she went out, but as he waited and waited, Lisa didn't come back. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Tom began to lose hope. Every night, he would cry himself to sleep, longing for Lisa as he hugged the teddy bear. Lisa could hear Tom. She shouted and yelled to Tom, but he just couldn't hear her. Lisa heard all of Tom's struggles and pains and wept bitterly. 1 year passed and Lisa was still missing. Tom slipped into depression. He knew that something was wrong. He began going for therapy, and there he was advised to let go of Lisa as it was the only way to move on with his life. Tom had refused, still clinging to the hope that Lisa would reappear one day. But after 6 more months, Lisa was still nowhere to be found. So on one Thursday evening at 10:15 p.m., Tom decided to let everything go and start afresh. Tom packed all of Lisa's belongings, including the teddy bear, outside of the house. He poured gasoline on everything. Lisa, who was still alive inside the teddy bear, cried bitterly, calling out to Tom to stop, telling him to save her. But outside, the teddy bear was completely silent and lifeless. Tom set Lisa's belongings on fire. Lastly, he placed the teddy bear inside the fire. As the fire burned the teddy bear, Lisa too was being burned. She wailed and screamed in pain as the fire pierced through her skin. Tom watched as the teddy burned, not knowing that he just burned his beloved girlfriend alive. 2 weeks later, the teddy bear appeared in front of a toy shop. It was clean and beautiful, brand new as ever. It hung there, waiting for its next female victim. Just a few moments later, a beautiful woman walked into the store, asking to buy the teddy bear.